Doubleheader and oh, and go Tycho. You're on the stream. Oops, there we go. Just trying to adjust the light a little bit for Tycho. Too bright does not work well for Tycho. There we go. Oh, that's better already. Yeah, Tycho. What do you think? Hey, I see Mookie joined us. Just looking to play the light a little bit more. Tango, did you want Karen to come out for Tycho too? We could do that. Hi, Tycho. Tycho, I see you're busy with the box. Maybe I should leave you alone? Tycho, I see you're busy with the box. Maybe I should leave you alone? Okay, bye, Tycho. I'll go visit Max. Bye, Tycho. I'll go visit Max. You're welcome, Tango. Max thinks that's funny too. What you got over there, Tycho? Have you got a box? I think everybody here knows about Tycho and his boxes. There's also Tycho and his copies of corn. I'm going to give Tycho a few minutes to see if he's interested in the box, and if he's not, I'll bring over a table for him and a copy of corn. Does that sound good, Tycho? I know, has somebody else been chewing on that box? How dare they? Would you like a slightly different box? We could do a slightly different box. Give me a minute here to see if I can put it together. Oh, you want that box now, huh? Okay. Are you sure, or you want this box? I'm going to fumble with the tripod for one more minute. There we go, slightly lower. Sorry, Tycho. Max wants some blocks. There you go, bud. Hi. Another option for you. We have a Mod Pod. You want the Mod Pod? I'm going to move this box then. I'm going to come in over here. Tycho really, whoopsies. Usually does like his Mod Pods. Can I get that, buddy? Right there. It's inside the box. I know you dropped it. Tycho often does better on a stream when he thinks I'm off doing something else. So I'm just making myself some fresh coffee. Hi, Tycho. You can really see how different Tycho is from Max. Just body language, how he reacts with everything, how he engages with the world. I'm just going to hop onto chat here and catch up for a minute. So that was kind of weird. I grabbed my second device and I hopped into a live, but it was a previous week's live. Suddenly I was having deja vu with some of the comments. Yeah, okay, now I see everybody's comments. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, 2 for 1. Sometimes we do some streams with Tycho. Tycho does not come out and stream as often. Tycho, as you know, is not a huge fan of the camera. Let's adjust the light here a little bit more. Yeah, and Tycho is definitely a very different shade of gray from Max. Okay, how's that for lighting for everybody? Is that better? Yeah, and they do come in very, very different shades. Hey, Tycho. Yeah, Cameroon African grays are more silverish. Tycho's a Congo. The Timneys, which are the smaller guys, tend to be a much, much darker shade of gray. They're almost hinging on sort of a blackish gray, and they've got horn-colored beaks and really maroon tails. Yeah, Tycho is definitely the introverted thinker. So, let's see, your chat's getting a bit kinky there. Oh, my bird. Tycho, you don't look that interested right now in the box or the Mod Pod. Would you like a copy of corn? I did say I'd get you one if you weren't interested in the other stuff. Want a copy of corn? Got one right over here. Hang on. Looks like I gotta get some corn off for Max first. Gotta be patient. So anytime Tycho gets a cob of corn, I usually just pull some fresh kernels off so Max gets them. Max does not like his corn served on the cob. He prefers me to do the work to remove the kernels. And I don't like to let the birds miss out. So if one bird gets a cob of corn, the other bird gets some kernels. Hey, Tycho. Can I come over? I've got a cobby. Let's see. So to put down the cobby, because I don't want it inside the box. Okay. We shift. Oh, hang on 1 minute. I'm going to pick that up the other way. Okay. Oh, we're going to put down the table. Roll that. And, oh, you know what? We need to put down the table this way. There you go. You want? Now I'm tripping over cords. Did you get corn? Corn on the cobby? Hey Max, I've got a handful of corn for you. Go. So Max is busy nesting. Oops. What happened here? Got too close. That board is actually from a recycled end table. Had a fire alarm go off in the middle of the night, and that end table was upstairs. Notice it's no longer a table. I made the mistake of using it as something to climb up on, and it kept me up in the air long enough to take out the fire alarm, which was a false alarm, let's point that out. But then it decided that it was going to go down in splinters. I realized after the fact that the table probably was a bit of an antique. It was probably at least 35 years old, maybe 40. So it owed me nothing. But I just recycled it and use it over here serve as a bit of a table for the birds. Yeah, terrible to hear about the dead birds over there, ornithology dude. I hope, it sounds like they may have been poisoned. That is definitely a concern. KT Spirit on the really old computers, it was 16 or 32 shades of gray. In fact, some of them was monotone. Does anybody here remember the old monitors? You could get the ones that were orange, sort of an orange light and black. Orange and black, yeah, I know I'm really dating myself back in the 70s. Pretty cool. Yeah, so this corn is completely raw. I know when Marcia prepares corn for Einstein, she wraps the cob in a couple of pieces of wet paper towel and microwaves for a couple of minutes. But Tycho does like his food raw. So, it's fine to serve raw, it's fine to serve cooked. Tycho definitely enjoys destroying the cob. Uh-oh. Can I help you with that? It's fine. Just gonna reach in. Put it there. That's right. You attack the cob, not my hand. I just don't want bits of cob in the toy box. But Tycho has no fear about climbing around over there. He knows the cob's his. Now, when that cob is, when I give Tycho a cob in his cage, I put it on the bottom. And Tycho likes to be a bit of a bottom eater. He likes his food bowl on the bottom of his cage. He likes some of his toys hanging and some of them at the bottom of the cage. squash and corn and whatever tend to serve on the bottom of the cage. And what he'll do with the corn cob is he'll pick it up, he'll throw it, then he'll pounce on it. Then he'll pick it up, he'll throw it again, and pounce on it again. I think it's part of his weightlifting routine to get ready for pumpkin season. But Tycho definitely understands that out here, throwing the cob violently, the cob does not have anything to contain it, and the cob's going to disappear. So Tycho sometimes will be a little bit gentler out here. Yes, Tango, I do remember punch cards. Tango, one of the really important things with punch cards was you had to number them, because if you ever dropped them before you ran them and you didn't hand number them, you were in for a world of hurt. Tycho's pretty chill today, which is okay. Tango, maybe the corn was trying to find Karen. Now, thanks for reminding me. We should bring her out again. Yeah, huge computers in another room. When I started computer science in university, I basically, the previous year, 1 or 2 years ago, they would have been dropping off the punch cards. I came in just after they had replaced those systems. But, I was in classes with people who'd used them. So, they were still very prevalent in culture. Chris, Tycho usually does not try to regurgitate for me. Tycho does try to nest a little bit. He does try to dig a little bit. The bird who likes to regurgitate for me is Tycho, the green Amazon. When he stays with me, he's always regurgitating for me. He seems to think that this would, maybe I'm kind of hungry. I need to get some weight on. Maybe I need to eat something so I can grow out some feathers. Yes, Tango, Elliot, yeah, impressed to get work back in 14 hours. Yeah, some of us are the same age, some of us are younger. There's a couple of birds here. Yeah, Tycho's definitely hungry today. Yeah, is that good, buddy? Connie, what happens with Max, and I think the flockers here have seen this. Remember one live stream where it happened? If he gets onto my arm and I'm sitting down, he tries to encourage my left arm to lay an egg. And that does, there's certain time of the year that he does do that, sort of fall into early January is his big time for let's encourage the arm to lay an egg. That's also the time when Max is the most hormonal, shall we say. And, he's tried to encourage my knee to lay an egg before. His current target is my left arm. And he really does get into it. One live stream, Max was being quite antsy, and I ended up sitting down with him on my arm in front of the stream. And he decided that he was going to turn it into an X-rated stream. But if Max decides he's going to encourage my arm to lay an egg, you got to be careful how you deal with him, because at that point he will defend anybody that comes between him and his chosen mate, and does not want to scrape, does not want to step off. So what I tend to do is I tend to roll the arm that he's on and he's trying to encourage, and then his focus is sort of starts to become on how to reach it with his tail and how to keep his balance, and eventually he loses some interest.
But, you know, it's also how do you distract a bird when he's a one-track mind? Chris, you're definitely my contemporary. Chris, I hear you on that. Chris, you are old enough to be my younger sibling, and I think a few others here, Connie and Tango, could be my older sibling. Yeah, no, age though is just a number. I mean, it's amazing how quickly time passes. You blink and, you know, a decade's gone. It's, you know, it really, really is amazing. I mean, it feels like it was just yesterday when I got Tycho, and Tycho was 6 months old. That's now a quarter century ago. So, time passes. But I look at age as a level. You know, if you're playing a video game, you always want to level up. Higher level means more experience, better equipped to deal with anything that life throws you, stronger character. I look at it as leveling up. Yeah, Tycho is actually very much the strong silent type. Tycho, when he was a baby, was a bit more vocal with some shrieks and whatever. And every time he shrieked, we would ignore him and we would ask him to whisper. And he learned how to do this lovely stage whisper. And he knows how to say whisper and whisker. And Tycho is very much the strong silent type. He's figured out that certain words and certain noises have meanings. If he's thirsty, he makes sort of a sound like he's drinking. And that tells me to run over and get him something to drink. Tycho, what are you doing? You still have corn behind you. I know. Look at you go. You know, he'll ring his bell if he wants me to bring him something. He'll say, come here, come on up. If he wants me to come over and pick him up. He'll say, I want, if he wants something I'm holding. You know, the Tycho does have the vocabulary, but he uses it in context. Occasionally, he'll practice a word, and he does not bring out words until he feels he's mastered them. Yeah, hi girl. Different birds have different tendencies to speak. You know, some people will say that they want to nap and gray because they're an excellent talker. It's like, well, that's actually not the reason you should be picking your gray, because there are no guarantees that you're going to get the talker. It's almost like saying, I want to have a boy baby because I hear that there's some wonderful male piano, piano players out there, and I'd like to have someone who is a master at playing the piano. Well, there's no guarantee that that child's going to be interested in playing the piano, or even that he will be better than a female child would be at playing the piano. It's all about aptitudes and individual choice. Yeah, so Tycho's figured out that it's safe to stand on the board, and he's playing a bit of corn surfing right now. Being a goose. Uh-oh. What happened?
light so I don't have to jump over it. What happened? Oh. Is that better? Tango, African Greys get whatever they want. Tycho, when he gets in the morning, are always at the bottom of the cages or in the cages, unless I'm being brain dead and haven't had enough coffee to figure out what to do with the food bowl. There's a bowl of crunchies, and crunchies is usually a mix of something like some formulated food. The flock really, really likes some of the Supreme, but they'll sometimes get Tropican. I mix it up a little bit, and what I do is I have a big bin, and I have a mix of seed and formulated food and whatnot. Maybe there's some treats in there, and that mix will change over time. And I'll dish that one out so they have some crunchies inside the cage. And on top of the crunchies inside the cage, the flock can, they get fresh fruit and vegetables all day long. Tycho tends to play a lot with his food. He enjoys tearing apart things like corn cobs and whatnot. And just notice that I'm slightly out of focus here. There, hopefully that's a little bit better. I'm going to go up a little bit higher. There. Better, Tycho? Yeah, when we're a little bit higher. There. Yeah, we can see the corn and everything. That good, buddy? That better? Yeah? Hello. 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 Tycho, if you said that I ate like Tycho, you would be saying that I eat a bit like a pig. But Tycho really does enjoy destroying food. Food is a toy. Food is not just about eating. It's about foraging. It's about exploring. I never get upset when Tycho wants to play with his food. Unless he decides he wants to decorate the wall and the ceiling in early modern pomegranate. Then I tend to get a little bit upset with him. Oh yeah, they are very, very unique birds. Yeah, but Tycho does enjoy playing with his food. Actually, Connie, Tycho was not really interested in chewing on the box. I think he was upset with the box had already been pre-chewed. Yeah, Tycho's pretty chill. He'll hang out, he'll relax. Yeah, 16 likes. Thank you, every birdie, for those. Our videos seem to be really picking up on the number of views. I want to say thank you to every birdie. You're watching them every day. I really, really appreciate that. I know a lot of you watch the videos right to the end. Hopefully you're beginning to notice that I'm trying to put a little bit of an Easter egg in some of them in the, where I'm inviting you to watch some more videos. I try to get cute at the end. I try to find something cute to put in either visually or audibly. The video with the Hello Kitty video I did this week,
the joke in there is basically instead of beaking that subscribe button, reach out the paw and tap that subscribe button. So I try to sort of find a unique thing to toss into the end. And, you know, I'm going to try and hide some more Easter eggs towards the end of some videos just for fun. But when you watch them to the end, that helps out. When you like and comment, that helps out. You know, certainly encourages me to keep posting the videos. When you watch the ads, that helps out. When you share the videos out on social media with friends, that helps out. Everything helps out. So it's really, really exciting to see how much the videos, the channel is growing. And it's certainly, you know, the first 3 years, it was really, really slow to grow. Now, we're posting a lot more regularly, we have more viewers, YouTube algorithm is beginning to think that our videos are somewhat tasty and they're beginning to promote some. So it's always really, really exciting to see. You know, we're even seeing views on some of our older videos. And honestly, most of our videos can be watched again and again. You know, we've experimented with a few different things. When we first started, we went for the really, really highly scripted videos. We're still going to do a few of those. They're an awful lot of work. We then went sort of more snippets of the week to sort of, you know, shortcuts and whatever the week. Now we're sort of more on a shorter video between 3 and 5 minutes that's really just focused on one subject. You may see a clip out of that video on some of the other socials, but you're not going to see the full video in the other socials. So for example, you know, you might see a quick clip of Max with the cat in one of the other videos on a social media channel, but you're not going to see the full video where he's interacting with all of the cats. So trying to find ways to make the YouTube channel a little bit extra value. Occasionally, I'll repost some of our longer videos that are older on Facebeak, but YouTube gets all of the extended content first. Tiffany, so glad to see you joining us today. Yeah. Tiffany, you can catch up on Max after the fact if you want, but yeah, Tycho is currently chilling out and supervising a cob of corn. You know, he certainly didn't make a mess eating any of it. Sticky corn everywhere. Tiffany, do you want to come over and help me clean some cages? There's chores to do. Oh, I see Tango beat me to it. Tango, you always clean out the fridge. For a pupper, you sure have an appetite. Oh, absolutely. Parents are supposed to help spread the plants, so wasting food is part of the game. And absolutely, the birds make a huge, huge mess. They're good at throwing food, they're good at shredding paper. You know, I basically have the attitude with cages, I could give them a deep clean 6 times a day and never catch up. What I do instead is any food that has the potential to rot and, you know, droppings or whatever, I tend to sort of scoop out and get rid of. But if it's just shredded paper or a bit of a dry mess, I leave it. And I catch up on it when I do a larger cage clean. And, you know, if I had more time, it would be great to do a full detailed clean every single day. But honestly, some shredded paper that Max is making to a nest, he's happier if you keep it for a few days. So I don't worry about it. As long as I don't have any food that is rotting, it's it's not a problem. Oh, Sue, that's super sweet of you. Sue says she tries to watch videos a few times each. Always cool. And, you know, in YouTube, you're going to see some of the older videos pop up as suggestions as well. If you haven't seen some of them, pop in and watch. I mean, you know, the ones that you like, let me know what content you like, because certainly I try to produce videos for everybody who's watching. And if you see something that I'm doing that you like, let me know. People seem to really like having sort of a light music in the background. I mean, over time, it's taken me a bit of time to figure out how to do the music in the background so it's not overpowering, it's not too soft. but it's just there to remove some of the background noise and just give that finished feel. Tycho probably would make a really good painting. Tango, so glad you joined us today. Go bark some squirrels for us. Hey, Angels is here. Hello, Angels. Angels says, hi, Tycho and Mama. Haven't stopped by in a while. Love to Max too. Hope all is well with you guys. Always happy to see you, Angels. Glad you popped into a live. This is a double header today. We did a live with Max earlier, and then this one's just a secondary live. Tycho was showing some interest in, well, the box, and now in the corn. And it's pretty low key today. Absolutely, Tiffany says, if we live closer, I'd love to be around Tycho and Max. You know, and certainly, you know, people who are in Calgary have the opportunity to hang out with us a little bit more. You know, we used to, on a regular basis, do meetups. You know, it's almost became, most weekends we would do a meetup somewhere with Max, and he loved it. You know, he's very much into seeing and meeting people. We'd usually announce it a few hours before and say, here's where we're going, here's the approximate time. And people would come out and join us. We might do Bragg Creek, we might do Cochrane, we might pop over to somewhere like Pisces and hang out. And it was always a lot of fun. You know, it's, even with COVID, obviously a little bit harder. We went to, Max and myself went to the pet store for the very first time since pre-COVID. So, you know, here you're talking, you know, just under a year and a half since he'd been there. He remembered it. He remembered how to find his friends in there. You know, he was really engaged, really happy about it. He's clearly missed having the outings. For him, it's, you know, it's a big deal for him. You know, but we're gonna watch, see what happens with COVID, and we're gonna do it when it's safe to do it. Yes, so Tycho probably would just shred it off camera. Yes, Pie Girl, we have had some Christmas party videos. Those ones are kind of fun. Oh, Connie, so glad to hear Vasco's recognizing voices. Hi, Greenbird. Hi, Vasco. Yeah, well, you know, we'll start doing meetups again when it's safe enough to do them. We might be doing something called Parrot Palooza in Calgary in September. It's being put on by the Calgary Parrot Club. It's held in a community hall. It's not a super big event, but some of the Parrot Club members are going to be there with their birds. We're going to be there with Max. There's going to be some vendors, like Parrot Trends always has a table there. Parrot Trends is the online store where we buy a lot of Max's stuff. And Parrot Trends, if you watch some of the socials, also has a large macaw called Bellamy who's been having some health issues and some surgeries. So, you know, she's going to be there selling some of her goodies there. Our friend Lori's going to be there. Lori, I believe, is going to have a table talking about parrot adoption and encouraging people to adopt rather than shop. Lori does a lot of fostering for both the Calgary Parrot Club and for the Calgary Humane Society for parrots. So, you know, it's going to be a number of different tables there. I'm looking at getting some fun stuff that's going to be some Max merchandise for the event. You're going to have to wait and see what we get. But I'll make sure it's available for flockers who are not in Calgary as well. But that's going to happen in September. But as I've said to everybody, it's always COVID dependent. You know, it depends what the safety factor is. If, you know, we've already paid for a table, not a big deal. But you know, it goes to support a good cause. It goes to support the Calgary Parrot Club. I think everybody here knows when Calgary Parrot Club has their auctions, we always try to donate something to them to help them raise some funds, because it really goes back into one of two things: parrot education or helping them rehome parrots. And they do that just from having people within the club who are selected and screened as fosters. A lot of volunteer work goes into it. They're not a full-on rescue, but they do a lot of good work. So, you know, we definitely support them. But I mean, if the event gets canceled, that's fine. We're just gonna say, hey, just toss our table money towards membership for the year. We haven't been able to go out to their meetings, usually because it happens on a night when our Uman has other plans. How dare she? But yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, it'll be fun for Max if we can do it. Connie, it's actually usually held in a community center, and I'm blanking out on the name of the community center. It's not near the Stampede. It's up in, I'm gonna say the northeast, northwest, north central. You know, it's not nearly as far north as we are. You know, it's not that far away from Pisces. Is I think where the community hall is. So I know most of you are not familiar with Calgary, but it'll be kind of a fun event. It's not a huge event, not like some of the parrot events that you see in the States and whatnot. This one's really a local event. I know we'll have a few groups, like a parrot rescue group. Mika's and Edmonton Parrot usually come down from Edmonton. Might have Lethbridge come up, but it's really just a group of people that are out to educate people about birds. And anytime we go out, we talk about parrots, we talk about what parrots need, and birds in general, not just big parrots, but smaller birds as well. They need interaction. They need a healthy, varied diet. They need opportunities to forage and discover. They need to be part of the flock. I mean, you don't just get a bird and lock them in the cage and hope for the best. They're not just decorative. If you want a pet that's decorative and only talks when you want it to talk, go get yourself a caring koala or a hominy. You know, they'll parrot right back what you say, and when you ask them to be quiet, they'll be quiet. They don't make a mess. They'll sit on a shelf quietly until the next time you remember that they exist. See, I just argued that Karen Koala is the perfect pet. But yeah, so, you know, we do talk to a lot of people about how to get the birds out safely. You know, people think, oh, well, maybe I should take my bird outside. Well, absolutely, your bird might enjoy being outside, but if your bird gets outside and is not either on a leash or in a carrier, even if they're clipped, they can get spooked very easily. And a scared bird, they can hide quietly in a very small space, watch you walk past 7 times calling their name, and, you know, you'll have a really hard time finding them. You know, they wave their wings, the universe moves, they're scared, they don't know what's going on. They won't know how to get food, they don't know how to find water, they don't know how to evade predators. They're actually at real risk if they get loose outside. They're not going to do necessarily as well as a cat or a dog might. And there's no guarantee you're going to be reunited. I mean, it's pretty scary. So there are ways to take birds out safely. You know, a harness, if I'm asked what I recommend, our favorite brand here for the flock has got to be the aviator harness. It's what Max wears, and we now have a number of different colors of them, which are kind of fun. You know, it's comfortable, it's easy to put on, it's a good solution. I've experimented with some homemade harnesses, they don't work nearly as well, and harnesses are expensive. I mean, I'm going to stick with what I know works well. So that's a good way to restrain. Our friends at Parrot Fashions, when we won our flight suit from them, we also have a leash with the flight suit. It's been a little bit too warm to be wearing clothing outdoors, but that leash with the flight suit, it velcros onto the flight suit, and that's another way to keep the bird safe. You know, I look at it and the way it attaches, it's not going to be quite as safe as an aviator, but it's a good alternative. You know, it means that you've got that bird on a leash and you've got them under control. You know, if something spooks them or scares them, they're not going to take flight and end up on top of a building or on top of a tree. Here's the interesting tidbit. I think everybody here knows by now I live in a townhouse, and you've seen when I've been walking around, units, most of them are 2 stories tall in the front and 3 stories tall in the back. I actually have a ladder that can reach up to the roof of these units. It's a folding extendable ladder. I have it from when I used to own a house. And if a bird gets on a roof, I can get up there. Not to be happy about it, but things like that I held on to just for safety's sake. Yeah, Tycho's still enjoying that piece of corn. I think the corn was a good idea for him. Yeah, Eric, your dog and the birds can be scared of each other together. Absolutely. Well, Tycho, are you still enjoying that corn? As you can see right now, Tycho's going after some of the cob in the middle. So for Tycho, corn is not just a tasty treat. It's not just a snack. It's also a toy. And he's being a little bit slow with this cob, but he'll usually go through a cob in very, very short order. This one's a wonderful toy for him. It's inexpensive, it's healthy, he's going to shred it. It's exercise for his beak, it's exercise for his mind. It's a really, really good way to serve some food. Max does not like corn cobs, he doesn't get corn cobs. Simple as that. Yeah, dogs, cats, and birds don't necessarily get along well together. One thing many people don't realize is with cats, cat saliva can harbor a number of bacteria that can be absolutely deadly to birds. And a bird's skin is pretty thin. It doesn't take much to, cat pokes a bird, has some saliva maybe on his toe. That bird could die from that quite easily. So keeping them separate can be a good idea. Cats and dogs, dogs are prey animals. Always supervised, and something can happen in the blink of an eye. Even with Max and Tycho, they are not completely comfortable being on the same perch together. In an emergency, I wouldn't hesitate to throw them together and hope for the best. But for the most part, they have separate areas, and I'm only, if they're on the same chair, I'm literally there ready to intervene at a second's notice. Yeah, I think everybody here has heard Max barking at dogs. Little barks for little dogs, big barks for big dogs. And what happens there is Max grew up with a large number of dogs in the house. So he figured, he learned about dogs at an early age. I don't think he actually interacted with them directly, but he knew how to bark like a dog and he knows how to tease dogs. So, he has figured that part out. But definitely at Pisces last week, he saw a dog, was rude to the dog, didn't bark back immediately, and then spent a lot of time barking, looking for other dogs in the store. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of heights either, but, I can do them if I have to. Yeah, Eric, I think an airplane is quite different than a ladder. There's something about climbing up a ladder for me. If I'm on top of a ladder, I'm always worried that I'm going to suddenly fall off the ladder. It's that I'm going to forget where vertical is and tip over and fall off the ladder. Whereas I could stand on something the size of a ladder rung on the ground and not be worried that I'm suddenly going to tip over and fall off. But the higher I get on the ladder, the more that thought is what if I suddenly forget how to stand vertically and fall off? It's not just losing a balance, but it's almost as if the higher you get, the less you think you're going to be able to keep your balance, and you tend to hold on to the ladder a little bit tighter. Connie, we actually used to have a house where occasionally either you hired somebody to go on the roof or you went on the roof yourself. I had a lot of trees. I got very good at pruning trees, and that meant go up a ladder. Go up the ladder with a pruning saw, and as I got a bit braver, go up the ladder with a chainsaw. Especially if you had to take down some parts of a tree. Eric Buster sounds like quite the character. Yeah, Max, if he sees a dog, he doesn't always do it, but he frequently will bark right back at them. Connie, I worked with an airline. I did work in IT, but I worked with them for many, many years. I worked with them for a decade. And I used to be a little bit more nervous about flying in a plane and working with the airline and learning a lot about the IT systems that power the planes, some of the safety systems that are in place. I've become a lot less nervous as a flyer. I just sort of reassessed that risk. I'm sometimes more nervous about walking on the sidewalk beside a busy street because people are going to do something stupid, and the odds of them driving off the street and hitting you with a car is much higher than something happening in a plane. Look at Tycho go.
Are you enjoying that corn, buddy? You're sure taking your time with it. Well, flockers, I think we've had quite the double header today. Max came out for a long time. Tycho's had a long time on the stream. We've had a lot of great chats with the flock, but I think we're going to call it a day. There's a number of errands we have to do today, but I'd like to thank every birdie for joining us. Special thank you to some of our newer flockers. Eric, thank you for joining us. I'm just doing a quick scroll back. Some of our newer folks, Linda, Angels, ones that join us all the time. It's so very, very good that you were able to join us today. Always good to see you. And then there's the regulars, Tiffany, Tango, Connie, Sue, Katie, everybody who's here almost every stream. Always good to see you as well. Buzz, glad that you stopped in as well. I mean, there's so many people. I almost feel like I should take a list of people so I don't miss people. Ornithology Dude, Pie Girl, Greenbird, Einstein, Mookie. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So I'm going to wish everybody a safe and happy week. We're going to have a few more pet store videos coming out this week. Got lots of footage that we can use for those. A few more fun videos of Max hanging out with his friends in the pet store, including Sasquatch and the sugar glider monkeys. I know that visits to Pisces are almost like visits to a zoo for Max. He gets to see so much. So we'll get some of those up this week. Eric, really, really glad that you joined in. Eric, we do stream live every week. We usually try to start 10:45 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Saturday with Max, and sometimes we'll do the pop-up with Tycho. Tycho is always a bonus. It depends on his mood, depends what he wants to do. Today, apparently, he wants to clean his beak, and I think he's trying to tell me he's done with his
extreme.
So Tycho, do you want a quick head scritchy from the flock? Quick head scritch? Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, and now it's boxing time. Let's get close up with the box. And I'm going to wish everybody a great day. Buck, buck. Thanks, Linda. See everybody tomorrow.